Harivenu Prabhu. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jaya. So having known the significance of Srimad Bhagavatam from the last time, how Srimad Bhagavatam is Lord Krishna himself, starting from the lotus feet of the Lord Hari until the crown of Lord Hari, how each canto is placed, how Srimad Bhagavatam is Grandhavataram. So having known the significance and having known the summary of Srimad Bhagavatam, now we will walk through. We had that satellite view of Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole summary last week. And now we will walk through each canto, one after the other. Okay. So what we will do today is, we will see what's there in the first canto, divide the first canto into few topics, take the first topic and discuss that today. Okay. So the first canto has, first I'll tell you the four topics. First topic is about the 6 questions of Naimisharanya sages. Second topic, after the Naimisharanya sages ask the questions to Suta Goswami, then the discussion would lead to how did this Bhagavatam came to place? Who spoke Bhagavatam? So that's how the second topic starts, which is the appearance of Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is called Narada Vyasa Samvada. Okay, that's second topic. And after the Bhagavatam appearance is described, then the Bhagavatam opens with who is this? Brahmastra. Brahmastra by Ashwatthama. So after that comes the Stuti, prayers of Queen Uttara, Mother Kunti, and Bhishma, Pitama. So the third topic would be Stuti, Bhishma Stuti, Kunti Stuti, and the prayers of Uttara. That's the third topic. And then comes, now that the Stuti has happened, Kunti Devi has offered her prayers. First Uttara has offered the prayer, asked to, came to Lord Krishna for shelter. And then Parikshit in the womb was protected. And after that, Kunti Devi offered the prayers. And after that, Lord Krishna was about to leave to Dwaraka. And then Bhishma Pitama, Ampasaya is the arrow of beds. Then Lord Krishna goes there and Bhishma, he offers the Stuti. And after that, Lord Krishna goes to Dwaraka. So there, Dwaraka Vasa Stuti also comes, the prayers of Dwaraka residents. So all that is included in the third topic. Okay. And after that happens, Lord Krishna disappears from this planet and Pandavas retire also timely. And Parikshit Maharaj, the birth of Parikshit Maharaj, the ruling of Parikshit Maharaj, curse of Brahmana to Parikshit Maharaj, and the Agamana, the appearance of Sukadev Goswami to the Hastinapura. All that is described in the fourth topic, everything about Parikshit Maharaj. So this is what first canto has in Srimad Bhagavatam. If we have to pack it, we can just pack it in these 4 topics. So we'll go to the first topic today. That is 6 questions of Naimisharanya sages. And in that first topic, first three chapters are covered. In the first chapter, there are 3 opening shlokas of Srimad Bhagavatam and the 6 questions of the Naimisharanya sages. In the second and third chapters, answers for those 6 questions are present. Okay. So that's the first topic, about the 6 questions. That we will try to cover today. Okay, that'll be our plan. I'm going to bring up the PowerPoint presentation. Just give me a second, please. Okay, I'm going to share the screen now. And by the way, these PowerPoint presentations, these are from Bhagavata Pravaha by Bhaktivedanta Vidyapith. So we are very thankful to them to let us use these slides for our katha. Okay, so I'm going to enlarge this a little bit. Okay, now what we will do is, this will be more like a concise katha now. Just, like sutra, 1 point each, like that. So, seat belts ready, because it will be a condensed one. All right, we will start that now. So the first canto has this first topic, that's 6 questions of Naimisharanya sages. And in that, we are doing the first chapter now. So in the first chapter, these are the 3 questions, 3 verses. The first 3 verses are something that only Bhagavatam Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, is giving, but not any other Purana or any other scriptures. What are those 3 verses that Bhagavatam is presenting? Bhagavatam is defining what absolute truth means. Who should be called as the Lord, Supreme Lord? What is Param Satyam, absolute truth? That's the first sloka. And in the second sloka, Bhagavatam is presenting something that no other Vedic literature presents. That is Parodharma, Dharma of the soul. Yeah, 5th Purushartha. And in the third sloka, Bhagavatam is inviting all the souls to come and relish this pure bhakti rasa. And this invitation is given only by Srimad Bhagavatam, but not by any other literature, because any other literature does not have this Shuddha Bhakti Rasa in it. So these 3 slokas are the opening slokas of Srimad Bhagavatam and the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So going to first sloka, definition of the absolute truth. Not everybody can be called as the Supreme Lord. Not everything is called as absolute truth. It has to have 7 qualities. What are those qualities? Janmadhyasya yatho anvayad. The one truth, supreme truth, that is responsible for Srishti, Sthiti, Laya. That is creation, maintenance or sustenance, and dissolution. Okay. That's the absolute truth. That is the cause of creation, maintenance, and dissolution. That's one quality. And that absolute truth should be Anvayaditaratas chardeshu abhignya. Abhignya means cognizant, aware of. Anvayad itaratas, directly or indirectly. So this absolute truth, from which or who does the creation, maintenance, and dissolution, is aware of everything that is existing in the creation, either directly or indirectly. That's the second quality. Third one, Swarat, independence. Supreme Lord or absolute truth should be independent. He should be Shaktiman. He should be controlling the Shaktis. He's not the one controlled by Shakti. So he is independent. Everything else that is existing is dependent on him. That's Swarat. That's the third quality. And Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kavaye. That Supreme Lord, if that absolute truth has enlightened Brahma in the heart, then that absolute truth is the Param Satyam. That person should be called as Supreme Lord. Okay, so the Supreme Lord enlightens Brahma in his heart. Not only giving enlightenment in the heart of Brahma, who is the secondary creator, but Muhyanti yat Surayaha, he also should be able to bewilder the other demigods that are present. If he needs to do so, to teach them what they need to learn, so their consciousness can expand. So that's the fourth quality. Not only enlightening Brahma, but should have the potency to put even the demigods into illusion if the need is there to do so. And how is that illusion? How strong is that illusion that is created by the Supreme Lord? Tejo vari mridam yadha vinimayo. So strong is that whatever is permanent appears impermanent. Whatever is impermanent appears permanent. The example is given. When there is fire, it appears from a distance that there is water on the fire, on the flame. Like it appears that there is water in the mirages in the desert. But in factuality, there is no water. But it looks so real that it appears like it is, like the water is there in the mirage. In the same way, all the jivas are conditioned so much with that illusion, they think anything related to this body is so permanent, and they dedicate their life for this body and everything related to body. And there is not so much of emphasis about the soul, because the illusion is so strong that everything related to body appears more permanent and more factual than anything related to the soul. So that strong is the illusory power. Okay? And that's Yatra Trisargo Amrisha. So the whole thing, Tejo Varimridam Yadha Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Amrisha. Like the water that appears on the flame or in the mirage of the desert. In that way, the illusion can be so strong on the conditioned beings that they think Yatra Trisargo Amrisha, what is factual as not fact, not a fact, and whatever is impermanent as a permanent. So that's the potency of the illusory power. Having done all this in this material creation, where is he residing? He is simultaneously residing in Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. He is residing in his own Dhamna, own spiritual abode. And how is that spiritual abode? Sada Nirasta Kuhakam. Sada, always. Nirasta Kuhakam, absent or negation of darkness or modes. There is no ignorance, passion, or mixed goodness. It is simply Shuddha Sattva. And it shines brightly, the Vaikuntha planets. So that is his abode. So to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has all these 7 qualities, to that Param Satyam, Satyam Param Dhimahi, Dhimahi we meditate upon. And who is that Param Satyam? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is how the Bhagavatam starts. So Lord Shri Krishna, who has these 7 qualities, who is the personification of absolute truth, upon that Supreme Lord, we all meditate. This is absolute truth. This is who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. Then the question comes, then how about the demigods? How about this Lord and that Lord? There are 33 crore of devatas, right? How about them? All of them, they have their place. All of them deserve their own respect. As we see in Virat Rupa, all those demigods are present in the Vishwarupa. So those demigods have their place in the Supreme Personality of Godhead to carry on the material affairs. So that way they are all empowered devotees. So we give due respect to them. We do not disregard them or put them down. But we also understand that they are all dependent on Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are not independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah? So that's the definition of absolute truth. And that's the role of the Devatas. They are all dependent. They are all Jivas and they are dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Devi and Shambhu. They are Shiva Tattva and Devi Tattva belong to different category, not the Jiva category, not the Bhagavan category. Just FYI. And also, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna are the same personality. Tattva is the same. In Tattva, Vishnu is Krishna. But in Rasa, when Bhagavan is endowed with 4 qualities that are distinguishing him, the Venu Madhuri, Rupa Madhuri, and Prema Madhuri, Leela Madhuri. These 4 qualities, when Bhagavan has within him, then he is Krishna. If Bhagavan is not with these 4 qualities, then he is Narayan. It's same Bhagavan, Tattva is the same, but the rasa is different between Narayana and Krishna. And those 4 qualities of Lord Krishna, distinguishing qualities are Rupa Madhuri, the threefold bent, beautiful form of Shyamasundara. Then Venu Madhuri. Venu of Lord Krishna calls every jiva. That's why his name is Krishna, Akarshiti, attracts every jiva. So Venu Madhuri and Leela Madhuri. The pastimes of Lord Krishna are very unique, especially the childhood pastimes of Lord Krishna are very unique, that no other avatar of Vishnu has. And Prema Madhuri. See, the residents in the Vaikuntha Loka, they all are great devotees, but they have this awe and reverence. And they know that Lord Narayana is the Supreme. But when it comes to Golokadham, they do not care if Lord Krishna is Supreme or not. They are just in love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not just Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are in love with this sweetest personality in their own rasa. So Madhurya Rasa predominates in Goloka. Aishwarya Rasa is so small that they do not even care if he is Supreme Person or not. They just love Krishna so much because he's so sweet. Yeah. So that is the difference between the residents of Raja and the residents of Vaikuntha. And that is Prema Madhuri. All the devotees of Krishna are simply made of Prema for Krishna. So these are the 4 qualities that distinguishes Krishna from Vishnu in Rasa. Tattva, it's the same person. Okay. So that's all the information about the absolute truth, Supreme Personality of Godhead, different demigods, the Tattva of Vishnu and Krishna, and the 4 differences distinguishing Lord Krishna form. Coming to glories of Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is giving Parodharma, supreme occupation of the soul. that is not endorsed by any other literature but Srimad Bhagavatam. And that supreme occupation is loving reciprocation of the Jiva with the Supreme Lord. Shuddha Bhakti, Krishna Prema, that's the supreme occupation. Generally, other Vedic literature, they talk about Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. They say this is how you do the religion. So you live your life religiously, so you can earn some money, Artha. With the money that you get, you satisfy your material desires, Kama. Okay, now that you have done everything related to the body, you are coming to the end of your life. Now that you are frustrated, come to the moksha now. Get detached from anything material. Get rid of these miseries. That's moksha. So these are the 4 topics that are discussed in the vast portion of the Vedic literature. But Srimad Bhagavatam says, Dharma projita kaitavatra. It's kicking these 4 topics out because Srimad Bhagavatam is saying, Paramo, come to the absolute, even more superior occupation, Panchama Purushartha, Shuddha Bhakti. If your aim is at Shuddha Bhakti, you don't even have to worry about Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. That will always automatically be taken care of. So aim for Shuddha Bhakti. Dharma projita kaitavo. Kaitavo is cheating. If you are aiming for only these 4 things in your life, you are cheated. Do not be cheated. Dharma projita kaitavo. Just put the cheating religion aside, which can take you only to liberation to get rid of the miseries. Go for Paramo, transcendental, Shuddha Bhakti. And who would understand what the transcendental occupation is? That Shuddha Bhakti is Nirmatsaranam Satam. Who has Satam, the qualities of a sadhu in goodness. Nirmatsaranam, no envy. So we all will be hearing Bhagavatam, reading Bhagavatam. But only few people can get so much most out of the Bhagavatam. And amongst that few, only few can really implement it steadily for a long time. Why is it like that? Because this parodharma can be implemented, can be practiced when we are nirmatsaranam satam. So that we have to keep in mind. That will come over a period of time, slowly, because Bhagavatam and Harinam has the potency to make us nirmatsarana. But this is the qualification that makes us a more qualified vessel to receive more of Krishna Katha. Then, what is the Bhagavatam presenting? Vedyam vastavam atra vastu. This Srimad Bhagavatam, which is emphasizing Shuddha Bhakti and is understood by all these non-envious saintly people, is presenting Vedyam. Vedyam is knowledge. Vastavam, absolute truth. The knowledge of the absolute truth. And what is that knowledge of absolute truth? Doing to us Shivadam. It is bringing auspiciousness to us. What else is it doing? Tapatrayon Moolanam. It is taking the 3-fold miseries away. Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Atmika. Any misery that is caused by this body and mind is Adhyatmika. Any misery caused by any other body from outside, starting from mosquito to human being or any animal, is Adi Bhautika. Any miseries caused by natural calamities, which are under the control of Devatas, is Adi Daivika. So these are the 3 kinds of miseries that we encounter. What does Bhagavatam do? Is it just going to turn off the switch so we don't have any miseries all of a sudden from next moment? Isn't it? Bhagavatam gives us the absolute knowledge and the right perspective of what this life is. What is it meant for? and how to view the arrangements in our life as Krishna's. So Bhagavatam gives us all the knowledge that is needed. And based on the wisdom and knowledge that is given by Bhagavatam, our perspective changes on the people, on the situations, and what the life has to do with us. And Bhagavatam also inspires us to get to that Panchama Purushartha, Shuddha Bhakti, to make that as the top priority. So all these threefold miseries do not bother us more because our goal is something else, because of the inspiration of the Bhagavatam. Also, Bhagavatam shows us the path of how to get to that Shuddha Bhakti. How? Through the instruction of all the devotees present in the Bhagavatam, through the instructions of Bhagavan himself present in the Bhagavatam. So in this way, Bhagavatam gives us the knowledge, inspiration, empowerment, enlightenment, and the purpose of this life. All this together will make us Tapatrayonmoolanam. Whatever we go through because of these threefold miseries, which would disturb us so much more, will not disturb us that much when we take up this message of Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim Vaparairishvara. When this Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, that is given by this Mahamuni Vyasadeva, is giving us so much, Kim Vaparairishvara. Or Kim Vaparai. What is the need of any other Vedic literature? Not only all this, the icing on the cake. Ishvara sadyo hridi avarudyate atra kritibi sushrushabis takshanat. By submissively receiving the message of Bhagavatam and by bringing it to practice, what happens? Ishvara satyo hridi avarudyate. Again and again, Srimad Bhagavatam is saying, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, will be established in the heart. Yeah? So that is also happening when we receive this message of Bhagavatam. That is in line with our Guru Parampara. This gives us Krishna Prema. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. Shanta Sadaiva Hrudayeshu Vilokayanti. Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Gunaswarupa. Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. That's what happens with Srimad Bhagavatam. Panchama Purushartha, which is Shuddha Bhakti, which is Krishna Prema, is invoked within our heart. And when that is invoked, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena, when we have that vision of love of Godhead, Shanta Sadaiva Hrudayeshu Vilokayanti, then Lord Krishna, who is present in the heart, is always giving darshan to the devotee. So that is what Srimad Bhagavatam is giving us. And no other literature but Srimad Bhagavatam, especially when we take it as given by Gauranga Mahaprabhu, who came down to give us Krishna Prema. That is present in Srimad Bhagavatam. When it comes to other sampradayas, they may not be able to get the Krishna Prema that Gauranga Mahaprabhu is giving unless they are also receptive to the instructions of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, the fruit that they may get from Bhagavatam is, some may just get moksha only, if that's what they're looking for, and that's what their sampradaya is. And some may get only Aishwarya Bhava, if that's what the sampradaya is offering. But for us, who are following in the footsteps of Gauranga and following the instructions of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, then we are given this Shuddha Bhakti Krishna Prema. Okay, that's the third sloka. Now coming to that's the second one. And now coming to the invitation of Srimad Bhagavatam to come, relish the Shuddha Bhakti. As we have discussed before, Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam. Srimad Bhagavatam is Galitam Phalam, very ripened fruit of what? Nigama Kalpataror, of all the Vedic literature. And that fruit is so tasty. And the skin is also full of juice. And there is no seed at the center. Even that is juicy. And the juice is dripping down, nectarian juice. Not just dripping down nectarian juice, but it is made even more sweeter. Sukhamukhadamrita drava samyutam, as presented by Suta Goswami, who has relished the mellows of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is saying, Pibata, come, relish this Shuddha Bhakti Rasa. Yeah. Loving devotional service, Krishna Prema, Preeti Seva, to Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. So, loving devotional service to the sweet Lord, Pibata, come, relish that. Then, not just 1 hour during Bhagavatam, not just 2 hours of japa, muhur, always, always, kirtaniya sadahari, nityam bhagavata sevaya, nityam, aho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. O jiva, O soul, you are made of rasa, and you are meant to relish this Shuddha Bhakti Rasa. So please come, relish. This is the invitation given by Srimad Bhagavatam. So those are the 3 verses about the absolute truth, about what Srimad Bhagavatam has to offer us, Shuddha Bhakti, Krishna Prema, supreme occupation of the soul. And third one is invitation of Srimad Bhagavatam to relish that rasa. All good. And now, coming to the scene, look at this. These are all the sages in the Naimisharanya. And here the elderly sage sitting here is Shaunak Rishi, and Suta Goswami is here. So in this setting, we want to see. Right here we can see when there is a Bhagavatam speaker, how would be the audience? The audience have invited Suta Goswami. Okay. Respectful invitation by the audience, and they were all present and ready even before Suta Goswami started speaking. So that inquisitiveness to hear the message of Bhagavatam. They also had faith in Suta Goswami, that the message he's speaking is in Guru Parampara. So the faith is also there in the audience, in the listeners. Yeah. And this is what we want to observe when we are being one of the audience. When we are audience, we want to follow this etiquette. Yeah. And that's from the audience side, from the listener's side. And what about the Bhagavata Katha speaker? What are the qualifications of Bhagavata Katha speaker? Anagha, sinless, free from vices. Anagha, there is free from vices is his, there's a nice word, sinless, free from vices, and is pure in intention. Yeah. And Akhyatani Adhitani. The speaker must have read and explained what was present in the Vedic literature. Should be aware of the essence of the Vedic literature. Should have an idea of what Saddarshan means. Yeah, the 6 systems of philosophy, and what the whole Vedic literature is about. At least we should have an idea of the essence of the Vedic literature and the 6 systems of philosophies, like that. And Veda Vidam Sreshtaha. Generally, the senior devotees would have this, but when in spirituality, in devotion, age is no bar. But there are so many devotees who have the devotion and also who has the devotion and the Shastra. Okay, so they should be well respected too. The other two things are very important. Saumya and Snigdasya. Saumya is something external, is we want to be simple in the dealings, in the sense, whatever that we have within, our behavior outside should be reflection of what we are within. That is Saumya. Not that we have something inside and we try to project ourselves outside in a different way. It's a lot of work. It's just complicated. It's just convoluted. But we have to be Saumya. Saumya is just simple inside, and whatever is inside gets reflects outside. That should be a qualification of the speaker too. Very, very, very important thing is Snigdasya. Snigdasya is submissive to our Guru Parampara. We may be having knowledge with whatever our understanding is. We may be having other qualifications from a material perspective, this and that and this and that, knowledge or austerity or different qualifications or eloquency and scholarliness, anything we name it. We may have all those, but all those are of not much use in spirituality if we don't have one thing. That is Snigdasya. Total submissiveness to our Gurujana. We want to be like a begging bowl, humble begging bowl, wanting to receive the mercy from Gurujana. Yogyata vichare, kichu nahi paaye, tomara karuna sara. That is our position. So if we are that begging bowl to receive the mercy from Guru Parampara, then we are the right vessel for the Srimad Bhagavatam message to go through. Even though we do not have a lot of knowledge, even though we cannot speak eloquently, even though we don't have the strength to do the tapasya, or we don't have that charisma, or we don't have anything, all those things are not really needed in bhakti. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripa tam aham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarim. Just to be Snigdasya, that begging bowl to receive mercy, everything else that is needed in our spiritual life for our personal transformation and for us to be a pleasing instrument in the hands of Gurujana and Lordships will happen. So that is very important as a humble speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, a transparent instrument of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so those are the qualities of a speaker. So we have covered the etiquette of listeners when we receive the speaker. We also have covered the qualities of a Bhagavata speaker, Krishna Katha speaker. Now, coming to the 6 questions. We have heard this in the past. Those 6 questions, what are they? What is the ultimate good for all? First question. And Naimisharanya sages, Shaunak Rishi, he thinks, oh, maybe Suta Goswami will start explaining the whole Vedic literature, trying to say what is ultimate good for all. But these Kali Yuga people cannot take all that. We just need only the summary of it, just a gist of it. Because these Kali Yuga people are Alpayusha. They are short-lived. Then Kalau Asmin Manda, they are lazy. Spiritually, there is not a lot of enthusiasm there, lazy. Even if they are spiritually little enthused, Sumanda Matayo, they are misguided. They may be guided to a process where it can take somewhere, but not exactly, to reviving the relationship with Bhagavan. They're mandabhagya, unlucky, and always disturbed. Even if they take up to the process of Bhakti Yoga, their mind is always disturbed too, because of the influence of Kali Yuga. So for them, keeping them in mind, please give us only the essence of all scriptures, not all the scriptures, but just the essence. That's the second question. Third question is, why did Lord Krishna appear as son of Mother Devaki? Fourth question. When Lord Krishna has to appear here, it means the Brahmanda has to form, right? For the Brahmanda has to form, the Purushavasaras has to come, the Garbhodak Sai Vishnu has to come. So that will be the next question. Can you explain us about the Purushavasaras? And okay, the Brahmanda is formed, Lord Krishna is here and he has appeared, but there are so many other Leela Avataras also. Can you explain us about those Leela Avataras? That's the fifth question. Okay, now Lord Krishna has appeared after the Purushavasaras had done their job of creating the Brahmanda, and now Leela Avataras also happened, and now when Lord Krishna disappears from this planet, where is the Dharma taking shelter? When the Lord was present in person, okay, he was just making sure that the Dharma Stapana was happening. But when the Lord disappears from the planet, who is representing the Lord, which is teaching Dharma to the Kali Yuga people? So, where did the Dharma take its shelter? That's the sixth question. Okay. So those are the 6 questions in the first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the other 2 topics, small points that are present in the first canto, are the potency of the holy name. Yad bibheti swayam vayam. Holy name is so potent, so powerful, that the fear personified shivers in fear because of the holy name. Ajamila, Yamadutas came, they could not touch Ajamila because just with the Nama Bhasa, the Yamadutas were shivering. They couldn't touch. If Nama Bhasa has that potency, what to speak of Shuddhana? So that's a drop of glory of holy name is given in the first chapter. And the beautiful one, a drop of glory of a sadhu, a Sharanagata Bhakta, is also given. Here it says, Satyah punanti upasprashtaha svarduniyapo anusevaya. For somebody to purify, they may dip in Ganges, but they have to dip in holy Mother Ganga so many times to get purified. And we don't know how much purification happens even after so much of dipping in the purified water of Ganga. But if they get the association of a sadhu, sada tumara hrudaya sada govinda vishrama. Srila Narottam Das Thakur sings that kind of sadhu in whose heart Govinda is vishrama, resting. If somebody gets that kind of sadhu association, lava matra sadhu sangha, that split of second is enough to transform the person, which may not be done even after dipping in the holy Ganges multiple times in the lifetime. So that is the potency of a sadhu who is carrying Govinda in his heart. So that's a drop of glorification of a sadhu. That's about the first chapter. Okay. If you want, we can continue, move on to the second and third. Are you ready for that? Shall we go ahead? Yes? Yeah. Yes, awesome. We'll go ahead. Let me go to the next PowerPoint. There is the technical things. Please give me a second. This one now. Krishna, Krishna. मैं क्या करूं? अब कैसे इलाज करना है? How to bring up this one? I have the second chapter ready. And Krishna, please, how do I share this? How do I share this? Yeah, okay. I think I might. Please bear with me just for a second. Yes. Oh, share. Yes, I got it. You see it now, right? That's second chapter. We'll move on to the second chapter. So far in the first chapter, we have heard about 3 slokas, 6 questions, a drop of glory about Harinam and Sadhu. Now, answers to those 6 questions. The first and second, before that, this is beautiful too. This gives us an opportunity to talk about Guru Tattva. We'll recite these 2 verses, and the rest of the chapter can be done soon. See here, Sri Suta Goswami, before he started explaining the answers to the to the sages of Naimisharanya, Suta Goswami, he's following his etiquette as a speaker. First of all, after the questions have come from the audience, from the listeners, then he's offering his pranams to his Guru Varga. Okay. Second thing, he is thanking the audience for asking the question. And after that, he is addressing explaining the answers to the questions. So we'll look into these three topics. First one is, he is doing his pranam mantra to Guru Varga. And in his pranam mantra, we will know what Guru Tattva means. Okay. So in the pranam mantra of Srila Suta Goswami, Yam pravarajantam anupetam apeta krityam dvaipayano virahakatarajuhava putreti tanmayataya taravobhinedos tam sarvabhuta hrudayam munimanatosmi. Tam sarvabhuta hrudayam munimanatosmi. Please note, he's saying, Suta Goswami is saying, I am invoking the mercy of my Gurudev, Sukadeva Goswami, who is present in the hearts of all living entities. Okay, so the Guru Tattva, generally, who is present in the heart of all living entities? It's Paramatma, Bhagavan. Guru Tattva is also eternal and all-pervading. Guru Tattva is channelized through some persons, 1 or 2 or more persons specifically, but the Tattva is eternal. As much as Bhagavat Tattva is eternal, Jiva Tattva is eternal, Guru Tattva is also eternal. So all the adoration, all the submission, and all the dedication, everything that we have is for this Guru Tattva. And when a person is channelizing this Guru Tattva to us, then all those transcendental emotions and feelings are directed to that particular person more. But Guru Tattva is eternal. And this is why Guru Tattva is not limited to time, place, and person. So there is nothing like my Gurudev is present with me physically, so I have more inspiration. Or he's present in a different country. He's not present in this planet. SNA Guru Tattva. Guru Tattva is eternal and is always present with us. And how is this Guru Tattva more accessible to us? Through the instructions of Shri Guru. If we are living our life, if we are living to fulfill the instructions of Shri Guru, or based on the instructions of Shri Guru, not just based on the instruction of Shri Guru. If the purpose of our living is to fulfill the instructions of Shri Guru, it means we are connected with Guru Tattva. Shri Guru is with us. Because Tattva is eternal and is not limited by material, space, time, or person. That we have to understand. We cannot limit this Tattva to only one person in a physical body. Though we express all our gratitude to all those gurus, Shri Guru, that is giving us, bestowing, or that is being the channel of that Guru Tattva. We want to do that too, wholeheartedly, 100%. But we also want to know what Guru Tattva means, so we can stay steady and unperturbed in our spiritual life. In that way, we don't get washed away emotionally with superficial emotions. Because we know the Tattva, then our emotions also stem from that Tattva. Okay? That is Guru Tattva. And Yam pravarajantam anupetam apeta krityam vaipayano virahakatarajubhava. And he's saying how Vyasadeva was just calling out, O Putra, and then the trees are resounding back saying, O Putra. Then in the next verse, there is more about Guru Tattva. Yasvanubhavam akila shruti saramekam adhyatma deepam atititirshatam tamondam samsarinam karunayaha purana guhyam vyasa sunamupayami gurun muninam. This Guru Tattva. Yasvanubhavam akila shruti saramekam. They are realized souls. Tadvidi pranipatena. Tatvidi pranipatena. They are realized. Upadikshantite jnanam jnanina tattva darshinaha. Tattva darshinaha. These realized had darshan of absolute truth in tattva. Tattva is important. Tattva is fundamental principle. So, yasvanubhavam. They have experienced it. Akila Shruti Saramekam. They know the essence of all the Shrutis, Vedas. Adhyatma Deepam. They are the light, transcendental light, showing us the path. Atititir Shatam Tamo Andham. To get us out of this ignorant, dark path of modes. Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Guhyam. Samsarinam. This ocean of modes. To bring us out of this ocean of modes, Karunayaha. With the mercy, they have given Purana Guhyam, this confidential knowledge about Lord Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam. So to that, Guru Tam Vyasa Sonam Upayami Guru Munina. This is Pranam Mantra to the Suta Goswami, who is the Putra of Vyasa. So these are the pranam mantras of Suta Goswami to Sukadeva Goswami. After that, he offers pranam mantra to his Param Guru. That's Veda Vyasa. And of course, Narayanam Namaskrityam to Naranarayana Rishi at Badrikashrama, where Vyasadeva wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam, and to Saraswati Devi. That's Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatam Chayam Udhir. Okay. So that's about the Guru Tattva and how it is eternal and how it bears the torch, so we can walk in this material world, which is dark with the moons. Yeah? And the second thing, yes?
So Narayanam Namaskritam was written by Suta Goswami, Mataji?
We will address that, Prabhu, soon.
Okay, Mataji.
Right? If that's okay with you.
Yeah.
We will address that. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. So next thing is, after invoking the mercy of the Gurujana, then Munaya Sadhu Prishtoham. Now Suta Goswami is addressing the audience and thanking the audience. This is wonderful. You are asking me this question. A question is wonderful when it has two qualifications. The first qualification is Yat Krita Krishna Samprashna, because it is related to Krishna. When it is related to Krishna, Bhavadbir Lokamangalam. Lokamangalam is already inherently present in that question. That's why your questions are very, very useful. Sadhu, very good, wonderful question. And yeah, your questions are not just useful. Yena Atma Suprasidati. These questions will give Suprasidati to the Atma, will bring peace and joy to the Atma. Yeah. So that is the quality of those questions. If it is related to Krishna, it would be auspicious to all also. So he thanks the audience for that kind of questions. And now he is answering the 6 questions. In a nutshell, I am going to go over the 6 answers. Okay. First question, what is the ultimate? What is the essence of the scriptures is the second one, and ultimate good for all is the first question. So the answer for these 2 questions is Bhakti Yoga. Okay. And now Suta Goswami explains about this Bhakti Yoga. In this verse, Savai Pumsam Parodharma, this Parodharma Bhakti Yoga is Yato Bhaktir Adhokshaje, is towards Adhokshada, Lord Krishna. And how is that Parabhakti? Ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. When that bhakti flows from the soul to the Bhagavan with no conditions and no interruptions, then that flow will cause yayatma suprasidati, and that is bhakti. So the flow of the reciprocation of the jiva with the Bhagavan, unconditionally, selflessly, uninterruptedly, for the pleasure of the Bhagavan, is bhakti. And that kind of devotional flow from the soul will give complete satisfaction to the soul. That's bhakti. After explaining that, he's saying what happens if somebody practices that kind of bhakti. Janayati asu vairagyam jnanam chayadahaitukam. Vairagyam is udasina, liberation from this material entanglement. Jnanam, knowledge, everything pertaining about Vasudeva. These 2 automatically come. And then the next point he says, the Varnashrama Dharma or any occupation that we are doing is not of much use. Na utpadayet yadi ratim, if it is not bringing us close to Krishna. This is based on Varnashrama Dharma. But for us, if our occupation is not helping us in our bhakti or obstructing our bhakti, then we may have to look and see what changes that we might need to do in our occupation. And Krishna will give us the intelligence. He's sitting in the heart. And why is it like that? Because the purpose of varnashrama or occupation is to please Krishna. Swanushthitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshana. Whatever we are doing should be meant to please Krishna. Okay, in our case, whatever job that we are doing, it may not be directly related to people, to serve people, but in that case, at least whatever money that we get, if we are spending it in some devotional service, that is a way of pleasing Krishna. In whatever capacity that we can serve the people in our occupation, that also can bring the smile on Bhagavan's face. So whatever occupation that we are presenting, either directly or indirectly, if we are able to please Krishna, then the work that we are doing is samsiddhir. Then the work that we are doing is fit to call Haritoshana, to bring pleasure to Lord Hari. That's something to keep in mind. This is more based on Varnashrama, but a point that is pertinent to us is these two things, directly or indirectly. If we are able to help others in our capacity through our occupation, and make sure that our occupation is not being a barrier to our devotional service. These are the 2 points. And these are generally done under the guidance and, of course, with the intelligence given by Krishna. So when the bhakti is practiced like that, what happens? When Shuddha bhakti is practiced like that? Karma grandhi nibandhana, the knot of karma is cut in the heart. Okay? Just by remembering the Lord, if the knot of the karma is cut in the cut in the heart, that is telling us the significance of smarana. Smarana means bhakti, remembrance of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada frequently says that, right? How to control this mind. Savai manah Krishna padara vindayo, thinking of the Lord, remembering the Lord. Just that itself can help us transcend the modes and do the needful. Okay. So after explaining these things about bhakti, about what bhakti means, how it gives knowledge and detachment, and how our occupation is meant to facilitate our bhakti, and how through our occupation we can directly or indirectly please Krishna to make it more occupation more worthwhile, all that is explained. After that, the stages of bhakti are explained. And after that, it is made clear that this bhakti should be directed not to any other demigods who are just jivas, but to Vasudeva. Because Vasudeve paragati, Vasudeve parodharma, Vasudeve parantapa, Vasudeve parajnana. So in this way, Vasudeva is everything. So that flow of bhakti that comes from a jiva is meant to be directed to Vasudeva, not to any demigods who are just empowered jivas only. So that's the answer for the 2 questions. That is ultimate goal of life. What is the ultimate good for all, and the essence of scriptures. And the 3rd question was, why did Lord Krishna appear as son of Mother Devaki? That is paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkrita. That's the answer, is to reclaim paritranaya sadhunam, to reclaim those souls that are in mode of goodness. Paritranaya sadhu. Sadhu is somebody who is in mode of goodness. To attract them to his pastimes. That's the primary reason. And of course, vinashaya dushkrita, killing them screens, will happen. That's the answer for why Lord Krishna came here as son of Mother Devaki. And the next question, what are Purushavataras? As we discussed before, first Purushavatara is Mahavishnu, that's Karnodak Sai Vishnu. Look at here, he's in the casual ocean and all the Brahmandas are coming out from him. That's Karnodak Sai Vishnu. And from each Brahmanda comes Garbhodak Sai Vishnu. From each Brahmanda is occupied by Garbhodak Sai Vishnu. The same Karnodak Sai Vishnu expands as Garbhodak Sai Vishnu to enter into each Brahmanda. And the same Garbhodak Sai Vishnu enters into each atom as Kshirodak Sai Vishnu. These are the three Purushavataras or three super souls. The super soul of all the material universes is Karnodak Sai Vishnu. Super soul of one Brahmanda is Garbhodak Sai Vishnu. Super soul of each atom or a person is Kshirodak Sai Vishnu. So that's the fourth question. Oh, that's over. This is the second chapter. And now we are moving on to the third chapter, which is taking us to Leela Avataras. We can do that too. Shall we go on? I think we will be able to do this. Yeah. Let me bring the third canto. Third chapter, please. Give me a second, please. Navigating back and forth. Let me go to the desktop. Okay, now ढूंढना पड़ेगा कि ये desktop कहाँ है. This time, canto 1, canto 2, done. Yeah, okay, canto 3. Got it. I'm going to enlarge this one and then start sharing the screen. Yes, please. Thank you for your patience as I'm navigating back and forth. Okay, yes, we got it. Yeah. Now we have discussed about Purushavataras. Coming to Leela Avataras. It is said that these Leela Avataras are so many, infinite, as little waves in the ocean. They constantly appear. But amongst them, the main Leela Avataras are enumerated in Bhagavata. I think about 30 or so. Yeah. All of those, how many? 22 incarnations of the Lord. Okay, their main incarnations are enumerated. So he gives the list of all these incarnations. Yeah, Suta Goswami gives a list of all these incarnations. I scroll through. So please be absorbed in these images, in these incarnations. Naranarayan Rishi, Narada, Dattatreya, Kapila, Yajna, Rishabhadeva, Ritu, Matsya, Kurmavatara, Dhanvantri, Mohini, Vamana, Narasimha, Parashurama, the reincarnation, Vyasadeva, Buddha, Kalki. Okay, all those incarnations are mentioned. And then he says, these are all these incarnations and much more. They come always, constantly come as the waves in the ocean. After explaining the Leela Avataras, he makes it very clear. This is the sloka. Ete chamsa kalah pumsha, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, Indrari Vyakulam Lokam, Mridayante Yuge Yuge. Now that I have explained all these Leela Avataras, but please know that all these avatars have come from the avatari. That is Lord Krishna. He is the source of all the incarnations. Etecha amsa kalah pumsha. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Lord Krishna is the Bhagavan Swayam. And all these incarnations are amshas of that Swayam Bhagavan. And generally they come Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Ridayanti Yuge Yuge to relieve the miseries, sufferings. As whenever the demigods pray for the appearance of the Lord, then he appears in these incarnations, but they are all from Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. So he nails down this point. I have told you about all these Leela Avataras, but the source is Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. That's about Leela Avataras. And the answer to the last question, where does, this is a beautiful sloka, but we'll come to the last answer to the last question. Where is Dharma taking his shelter? Who is representing Lord Krishna in Kali Yuga to guide the Kali Yuga people in a dharmic life? Not just dharma, this is parodharma. Krishne swadhamopagate dharma jnanadibhisaha kalo nashtadrishamesha puranarko dunoditaha. So this Purana, Bhagavata Purana, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, is rising like a rising sun, is giving light to the Kali Yuga Jivas after Lord Krishna Swadhama Bhagate left to his Dhamma along with Dharma, Jnana and everything that has come to him. So Bhagavatam is giving all that Lord Krishna gave when he was present in this planet to guide us. And this is where Dharma is taking its shelter. Taking its shelter in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Grandhavatar of Krishna. So these are the 6 answers to the 6 questions of Naimisharanya series. I'm going to summarize this very quickly in about 2 minutes. We have talked about overview of the first canto, which has 4 subtopics. First is 6 questions of Naimisharanya sages, and then Narada Vyasa Samvada, where Srimad Bhagavatam appearance is discussed. After that are the stutis of Uttara, Queen Kunti, Bhishma Deva, and Dwarakavasis. And after that comes everything about Parikshit Maharaj. That's the birth, the ruling, the curse of Parikshit Maharaj, and entrance of Suta Goswami. That's the first canto. And in the first canto, we took the first topic today, which is 6 questions of Naimisharanya sages. And this is spread over the first 3 chapters. In the first chapter, we have talked about the 3 slokas, which are giving the definition of the absolute truth. Second one is, what is Srimad Bhagavatam giving us? Parodharma. Third one is the unique invitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, which other literature cannot give, but only Srimad Bhagavatam. That is to relish Shuddha Bhakti Rasa. Those are the 3 verses. And then we talked about what the etiquette of the audience is when they have to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from the speaker. We also talked about the qualifications of the speaker. Amongst them, 2 are important, Saumya, and the most important is Snigdasya, submissiveness to the Gurujana, being a begging bowl to receive the mercy of the Gurujana. And with that, everything that is needed in the spiritual life will come for our own personal transformation, and the same mercy will transform others through us if we are as a receptive bowl. That's Snigdasya that is discussed. And next we came to the 6 questions. Those 6 questions are, what is the ultimate good for the people? Second thing is, what is the essence of the Shastra? Yeah. And third one is, why did Lord Krishna appear here? And fourth one is Purushavataras. Fifth one, Leela Avataras. Sixth is, where did Dharma take his shelter? Okay. And a little drop of glorification was given on a sadhu and Harina in the first chapter. Also, the qualities of Kali Yuga are also given in the first chapter. So this takes us to the second chapter, where Suta Goswami starts speaking. And the etiquette of a speaker is explained there, of how he is invoking the blessings of the Guru Parampara. Yeah. And we talked about the Guru Tattva, how it is eternal and is always present, not limited to time, space, and a body. Yeah. And it is all pervading. We talked about Guru Tattva, and then after that, Suta Goswami thanks the audience because of the nature of the question. A question is very appropriate and befitting if it is related to Krishna, because if it is related to Krishna, then it is intrinsically built in with the Loka Kalyana, the auspiciousness of all beings. That's the nature of the question. And then we talked about after thanking the audience, then he comes to answer these 6 questions. The answer for the first 2 questions is Bhakti Yoga. And in Bhakti Yoga, he explains about what Shuddha Bhakti means. And he tells how Bhakti Yoga can automatically give the jnana and vairagya needed. He also tells us, guides us of how our occupation should be in order to facilitate our Bhakti Yoga, and how we can directly or indirectly please with whatever occupation that we are in. And this is guided by the Gurujana and the intelligence given by Krishna because of our sincere efforts in Bhakti. And after that, he makes it very clear that this Shuddha Bhakti that flows from the Jiva is meant to go to Vasudeva, not to any other Jivas, the demigods, but to Vasudeva. Okay. And after that, after explaining this Bhakti Yoga, then he comes to the third question of why Lord appeared. That is for Paritranaya Sadhuna, to reclaim the sadhus and to attract them through their pastimes. Later on, Purushavasaras are described, 3 Purushavasaras. The Karnodaka Sai Vishnu, who is the super soul of all the material universes. Then Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, who is the super soul of a Brahmanda. And Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, who is the super soul of all the atoms and living entities. Next comes the Leelavataras. About 27 are described in Srimad Bhagavata, but it is explained that the Leelavataras are constantly coming and are infinite. Okay? And the source of all these Leelavataras are Krishna's, the Bhagavan Swayam. That is made clear. And at the very end, it is said that Srimad Bhagavatam is rising. As a rising sun giving the light, Srimad Bhagavatam is taking the place of Lord Krishna and giving the shelter to Dharma and light to the Kali Yuga people. So that's how Dharma is taking the shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam in Kali Yuga. Those are the topics that we have discussed today. Okay, so we will pause the recording now, and if you have any questions and reflections, we will take them now.